You meet someone, and the connection locks into place with an absolute ease that you've never experienced before. They share your exact strange taste in music and the specific wounds you've carried since childhood. You find yourself sharing dreams you've never said out loud because for the first time you feel seen. There is a specific part of this experience that remains hidden in the early days. That immediate, seamless click is often something other than a miracle. It functions as a mirror. While you are busy falling in love, you are also being studied. This quiet tactic sits at the foundation of what researchers call narcissistic abuse. It starts with flatteries so precise it feels like recognition rather than a performance. To understand how this works, we have to look past the romance and take the experience apart, the way you might take apart a magic trick once you know how the mechanism works. Mirroring runs as a rigid 3-step mechanical system. In the first step, the study, this person is not just having a conversation, they are collecting. They listen to your stories about your past and your hobbies with a focus that feels flattering. They bank everything as raw material. Next is the reflection. They take what they gathered and hand it back, reshaped into a person who happens to be your perfect match. If you mention a love for obscure films, a week later they have always loved those exact movies. This leads to the false connection. It feels like home because it is built entirely from you. There is no real getting to know you phase because they already studied the answer key. To understand why this happens, we have to look at the identity of the person doing the mirroring. Often, the manipulator is not working from a stable self. Their identity functions more like a disorganized swarm, a collage assembled from other people because they lack a solid core of their own. This fragility creates a desperate need. They don't just manipulate you, they require you to prop up their own sense of being. In this system, you are the source of their supply. This idealization phase usually has a lifespan. Researchers find it typically runs between 3.5 and 5.5 months, long enough to make serious plans or introduce them to your inner circle. The danger during this time is that every fear and trauma you confess is quietly filed away. The late-night honesty you thought was building intimacy is actually building a map. Eventually, the mirror turns. The affection that defined the relationship suddenly withdraws, and the criticism begins. The disorientation defines this transition. This is where the map gets used. The insecurities you trusted them with are reversed and sharpened into weapons. The wound you mentioned in confidence becomes the precise place they press. Survivors often feel a deep sense of shame for not leaving the moment the behavior changed. But there is a specific psychological architecture designed to keep you there. Psychologists describe a drive called self-verification. We want to be seen as who we believe we are, even when our beliefs about ourselves are negative. If you secretly feel unlovable, a person who treats you that way is, in a dark sense, confirming your own story. This exploits the patterns of insecure attachment. The abuse fits a script you might have learned early in life, making the cruelty feel like the only person who truly understands you. Walking away feels like walking away from your own reflection. That understanding was the bait for the trap. Spotting a mirror requires looking for specific signals in real time, before the intimacy outpaces your actual knowledge of the person. The first signal is tempo. Real closeness takes time to grow through shared experiences. Manufactured closeness is rushed because a reflection cannot survive the scrutiny of a slow reveal. The second signal is a suspicious lack of friction. Healthy relationships have edges, disagreements, and areas where you simply don't match. A mirror is seamless and total in its agreement. You can test this by sharing an unpopular opinion. A real person might push back or disagree. A mirror simply absorbs your opinion and reflects it back later as if it were their own. The third signal is the loss of your own voice. Over time, your opinions soften and go missing as the relationship organizes itself entirely around the other person's needs. A connection that is real will let you stay a separate person. It does not require you to shrink so that it can shine. The grief of losing what felt like a soulmate is heavy. It feels like losing the only person who ever truly saw you. But the capacity for that depth of connection belonged to you. The empathy you felt was real. even if the person offering it was not. That warmth didn't come from them. It was your own reflection the whole time. This means you do not lose that depth when they leave. The mirror was never really there, but you are. You get yourself back.